Hey guys, what's going on? Brian Martin here with your match preview for Manchester United women versus Brighton women. The ladies are back. WSL is back. Let's get back to it. International break was way too long, right? Way too long. So I'm glad we're back. Glad we're back. Anyway, as usual, I've got match facts, I've got presser quotes, my predicted 11, keys to victory, all that good stuff. You know how I do. So let's get into it. The game is at 7 a.m. Eastern time today, or 4 a.m. Pacific time. I think that's noon British time. I know the clocks are changing this weekend at some point. I'm not sure. Anyway, somewhere around that time. Stacey Pearson will be your match official. The weather should be 12 degrees Celsius. That's about 53 degrees Fahrenheit. So a bit on the colder side, but not terrible. Um, might see some of the ladies styling some long sleeve shirts today. Domestically, we are in third place. Brighton are in seventh. Let's hop into the presser quotes. So Dario Avidicic, that is Brighton's manager, he was asked about United. He didn't really say a whole lot. He just said, "We are looking forward to playing United. We will be back at home after an international break, and we know we have a good opponent in front of us that has started the season well. But we had a good game last season when we played them at home." That's really all he's got to go off of. Of course, injuries, right? That terrible injury to Michelle, England international, 19 years old, done her ACL. So, wish her the best. And actually, Skinner addresses that later in his presser. So let's go ahead and jump into what Mark Skinner had to say. So he was asked about team fitness. So he says, "We don't know that yet," meaning we don't know who all is fit just yet. He says, "I've not had any reports that there are injuries from the camps. So hopefully that's a good sign." He was asked about upcoming games. He said, "I want to see the same as what I've seen this first part of the season. And what that is a full commitment. The reality is we go to Brighton on Sunday and you can't miss a beat. When they come in this morning, you always get this brilliant energy hangover from going away to their national teams because they haven't seen each other. But I need to put that into training, and then I need to put that into the game." Now, I loved what he said there because that's a sign of a intelligent, in tune manager, right? Like, you see the energy, the vibe when the ladies or the players come back from international break. They haven't seen each other. The camp is good in terms of, how they left it, right? Like they left on a winning streak, on a high. They've come back, right? They haven't seen each other. High five, smiles all around. And then you want to take that and like put that on the pitch, right? And so I was happy to hear Skinner say that because that was so just astute and smart, right? Like you don't kill that energy and then say, "Okay, stern face, back to training, like no more fun, no more smiles." You want to take those good vibes and harness that and put that into the training and into the match. And hopefully, we're playing with, not only the usual determination, but also some joy, right, in our faces. And typically players play better when they're happy. All right. So I thought it was very smart of him to say that. He was asked about Jess Park. He says Jess is perfectly fine now. She should be ready for the weekend. So will we see her start? Will we see her come off the bench? I'll let you know shortly. He was asked about Michelle Aguimang's injury, which I mentioned earlier. He said, "The reality is, regardless of who she plays for, I'm an Englishman and I'm proud to be. So I look at that and I want to wish her all the best. She's an extremely talented player. It's a very sad situation for her club, country, and her home club Arsenal. But what I will know is the type of character she is, and what I'm hearing about her character is it will build her and make her stronger." Wonderful words from Skinner there. Wonderful words. Like, putting club bias aside, he's like, "This is my fellow countrywoman, and I wish her all the best." I mean, I just honestly, like, he had more quotes throughout the presser, and I could have honestly just sat here and quoted every single thing he said because he's so good with the media. He's so good with them. He greets them so politely, as you've seen in the pressers, and he answers so well. I'm just like, the guy could talk about cheese and crackers, right? And I would just sit there and just be like, "Yeah, yeah, you're the man. Exactly, exactly." Like, I mean, he's just so good with the media with speaking. But like, I really like the way he addressed, the Brighton players, Michelle's Agumang's injury. Um, and again, go back and watch the presser because he just had so many good quotes, so many good things he said. And it's just like, I feel belief. I'm not even a player. I just feel belief in just listening to him speak, right? I just feel like empowered just hearing the man talk. So Anyway, he's great. Obviously Millie Turner, still coming back to health. I think late January, February is when we'll see her. Now, predicted 11. So I think we're gonna go with Telechoice in goal, obvious pick. Sandberg, Janssen, Letitia, Riviere, back four. You don't really touch, you don't really change that much. I think Miyazawa is going to play a single lone pivot role. Um, and then I think we've got Rolfo, Mallard, Toon, and Park as another bank of four. And then I think we're going to go with Turlin up top. So I think we're going to play a 4-1-4-1 at least to start with. That's just my guess. Now, tactics to win the game. Brighton are not an easy side, right? I think the results betray them a bit. As I said, they're in seventh place right now. But if you look at their last results, and barring like any tournaments or league cups, but like their last few WSL results, they've been narrow games, right? And defensively, they're quite good. If you look at their defensive record, they're quite good. So they're hard to break down. They gave Arsenal a tough time. They only lost 1-0. So I would say that we need to be patient, right? I think this is going to be a game where we need to be patient. But as I say that, we need to score early. And Skinner did address that in the press conference. I didn't quote it, but just like I said, go back and watch it. He did say that. He said that we need to score early and be more ruthless in front of goal, which I think is something we've all seen. Um, and so, yeah, I think against Brighton, we're going to need to exercise some patience, but urgency to still try and score early. And then I think if we score early, we force Brighton to then come out of their defensive posture and really try to attack us to at least get something out of the game. And once they open themselves up, then I think we pile on the goals. So again, patience but urgency to try and score early. And again, just to clarify the patience thing, in case you're thinking, well, Brian, you're saying two opposite things. I'm saying I picture us getting down the pitch, setting up in Brighton's half, knocking the ball around. But we need to be patient with that, like not try and force anything, but knock it around quickly, right? So urgency, move, pass, move for something to open up to then score early. So like patience in the process, but execute the process with a sense of urgency, if that makes sense, right? So pass the ball quickly, move it side to side, put Brighton into a daze, into a lull, right? And then attack. So I think patience, but urgency, early goal, and I think the rest will follow. And I think this might be a 3-0 win for United. And a win that keeps us in third place, that keeps us firmly in the hunt. 2 points off the league lead, I believe. So yeah, we have to win. We have to win to stay on pace and to stay in the hunt. And to, I think at the end of the season, potentially lift that big, beautiful trophy. So as always, I'll be live streaming, watching the match. I can't show the match. I've had people ask, I can't show the match, right? I'll get sued for that. I'd lose my house. They'd sue the pants off of me. So I can't show you the match, but I will be watching here on my tablet as always, and I'll be chatting with each and every one of you. Again, as always, you guys have been great every single time, we've had a match here, especially on the women's side. So it's great to see the support for the women's game, and I appreciate you guys being a part of that. Appreciate you guys being part of the community. Now, I am going to run and catch a quick nap because it is early where I am, and I'll see you guys back for the match itself. So see you in a bit. Peace.